Like a lot of guys on the team always have something to prove, and obviously the friendship, brotherhood that we share, it's always nice to play with someone that you're close with. You can see the quote right there, guys. Max, how will CP3 and Carmelo work together in Houston?
Oh, they'll mesh very well because CP3 will get the most out of whatever's left in Carmelo Anthony, I believe. And I believe that also means the Rockets will be worse than they were last year, so it's not going to matter. Because the thing about the Rockets where they were a sneaky, good defensive team with multiple guys who could switch and everything, that ain't Carmelo Anthony instead of Trevor Ariza. I mean, it's just not. And they lost a couple of good defensive players, and they replaced them with Carmelo Anthony. Offense, Carmelo's a little better, although you could see from last year he wasn't a catch-and-shoot guy. I believe Carmelo will be better than last year, Stephen A., but he'd have to be a lot better to make up the difference that Houston lost. And let me say something. This is not negative anti-Carmelo Anthony. I would say his career is following a normal career arc, a normal career trajectory. The way I said Tiger Woods at 42, now that he's healthy, his career arc is back. In other words, when he was in his mid-20s, as great as he was, this is what you'd expect from him at 42. No longer the best, but a chance to win any given major. But I would say it's a normal career arc. I'll give Carmelo more credit than that. Carmelo is still better than he should be in his 15th season. He's old by NBA standards. A lot of miles on those legs. Dwayne Wade is cooked. LeBron James is rewriting the record books because of how well he's aged. Carmelo Anthony has aged, I'd say, better than most. But that just goes to show you how old he is by NBA standards at this point, given the tread on his tires, the level of tread on his tires, given the number of minutes he's played. It's amazing that he can even play as well as he can still play, but that's not going to be good enough, Stephen A.
You know what? The funny part about your argument, more so than anything else, is that, you know, you act like you're really stepping out on a limb there. They're going to be worse than they were last year. Do you have any idea that throughout NBA history, you can't find 25 teams in NBA history that have had 65 wins or better in the regular season? It doesn't happen all the time. So even if they have kept their team intact, they still wasn't going to win 65 games.
Not just about the regular season win total.
Well, you brought it up.
I'm saying better. They took Golden State to a Game 7 at home, and I believe only lost because CP3 didn't play, and they had an historically bad shooting night.
I got you. So my point, a historically bad shooting night, which I don't think would be duplicated, and part of that is the reason that Carmelo Anthony ain't going to go 0 for 12 from the field and 0 for 9 from three-point range in Game 7. That's what the deal is. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about this. At some point in time, everybody's got to make up their mind. Is CP3 great or not? Is CP3 great or not? Because my reason for supporting Carmelo Anthony in Houston is because of what I think CP3 will do for him. Carmelo Anthony, one time and one time only, has played with a quintessential, prototypical pass-first floor general extraordinaire point guard in his career. And that was Jason Kidd. The closest he ever, and that's when the New York Knicks won the Atlantic Division title, went to the semifinals with Mike Woodson as his head coach. The only other time in Carmelo Anthony's career that he has played with a credible point guard was Chauncey Billups. They went to the conference finals. Now, granted, that was years ago, and we all know that Carmelo Anthony isn't the same player. But the flip side to it, at 6'8", 240, who has range, who can shoot, you're talking about an individual with an extraordinary point guard that will make it easier for him to fit in than it was for him to fit in with Russell Westbrook and Paul George. You're talking about the combination of that with the league MVP and James Harden, who's a bad somebody. And I think that the combination of that, combined with the team basically being intact, you're trying to tell me we're going to make – I'm not trying to diss Trevor Ariza. I like Trevor Ariza. And I'm glad that he got his money. Like Kobe Bryant said on my radio show, he deserved his money. No question. A one-year, $15 million deal. He was due that. But we are really, really tripping over Trevor Ariza and Luke Mbah-a-Moute being gone, okay, and play, because Carmelo's there and those two are gone. Those two are gone now.
But you act like that's not, you act like Carmelo's better than the two of them combined.
No, I think offensively he is.
Yeah, but overall value,
listen,
he is less than those
No
two.
doubt about it. Listen, I'm saying to you this, they've taken a step back defensively. But in the same breath, you ain't stopping Golden State. You got to outscore.
Let's boil it down.
And I think that Houston's offense is going to be better. Their defense is going to be worse.
Let's boil it down so
that.
we have no ambiguity, so we're totally clear when this time rolls around.
I'm always clear.
And at the end of the season or in the playoffs, and you'll see that I'm right. Okay, I'm not even talking about the 65 wins from Houston. That's a part of it. I thought they were the best team in the NBA last year. I'm talking about on top of those 65 wins, they went to a Game 7 against a healthy Golden State team. They were at home. They missed CP3, and they couldn't buy a shot. And they still only lost by single digits. I think the evidence shows, in fact, they were the best team last year. And
that does have something to do that playing at the Toyota Center, which is no joke. That's a great, great home court to be on. And it's a Game 7. So them losing by single digits, I mean, come on, they lost.
They went
it's tough.
From 30 from downtown, and they didn't have CP3. I'm telling you this. With CP3 and Carmelo, they will not get to a Game 7 against the Warriors this season.
Let me ask you, and do you think that's because of the Warriors or because of the power and the balance of power that exists in the West and how that could ultimately contribute to wearing you down? Which one is it going to be?
I think it's because the Rockets took a step backwards by losing 2 good defenders and adding Carmelo Anthony. I think they won't be as good as they were last year.
Okay, and I think they will be significantly better offensively. They will be worse defensively. We'll see what happens. But I don't think they're going to be any worse as a team. I don't.
Because you think the offense will outweigh,
yes.
the improvements in offense will outweigh the lack in defense. All right, I'm going to remember all this, folks, and hold you to it.